When was the last time you took a leap of faith, trusting that everything is going to work out? Do you crave growth, or are you merely content with the status quo? If you want more out of your life, out of your career, and out of your relationships, you are in the right place. Take the leap and discover how to create a life by design rather than living it by default. Real success starts with you. Now here's your host, Colleen Biggs.
Hello, listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Take the Leap. As always, I am your host, Colleen Biggs. And you know, week after week, we bring amazing experts onto this show. And I'm excited to have Wendy Paige Sterling with us today because we met years and years and years ago when I actually first launched my company, Lead Up for Women, as well as my podcast. It was a live radio show back then, as well as the magazine. And Wendy and I had met, and she attended and also spoke and was one of the leaders at one of the first retreats I had ever done before we got shut down, obviously by COVID. So it's super exciting to have her here today. But before we get to Wendy, and before we get to our conversation today with Wendy, I want to ask some of you, have you felt in business that you really wanted to do something, your gut told you you needed to do it, but other people were telling you you should do something else? And maybe you didn't listen to your intuition or your gut. You decided to do what someone else told you to do and it didn't work out. Well, Wendy's here to help us understand why it's so important for us to lean more into our intuition. I 1,000% align with this on how important it is for us to know, have our own inner knowing, follow that inner knowing, because that is always that still small voice speaking to you, telling you what you need to be doing. So this is what our topic is going to be today. But again, before we get to Wendy, I do want to thank today's sponsor, Phoenix Drone Pros. And at Phoenix Drone Pros, we love what we do and are passionate about each and every drone photography and video shoot. We've been in business since 2015, and our talent and skills show in the video production we deliver. We offer fast service for commercial real estate movies, events, and construction site monitoring. We also provide drone virtual tours that are all the rage right now. These virtual tours are great for team building and entertainment. Contact us today at phoenixdronepros.com to schedule your shoot online very easily. We capture everything. We're now franchising. Reach out for information on how you can purchase your own drone company today. All right, well, let's get back to Wendy because I'm super excited to share a little bit more about my friend, Wendy Paige Sterling, who is an intuitive leadership mentor coach who empowers business owners to disrupt their industries using intuition and authentic connections. Hallelujah. She helps
Amen.
align business practices with personal passions, creating successful and fulfilling enterprises. Wendy's clients are ambitious disruptors who seek to lead with bold, authentic visions. Known for her no-nonsense coaching, she pushes them to pursue what lights them up, turning obstacles into growth opportunities. Her approach blends spiritual awakening with heart-centered leadership, focusing on aligning business with core values and aspirations. She's also the host of the Power in the Pause podcast and the creator of the I Can Summit. Wendy, welcome to today's show.
Thank you. It's so wonderful to be here and to see you again. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we go way back, and
We
you've
do.
had several transformations throughout your life from, going through a really tough divorce. I know that that was a big thing on the forefront. You helped so many moms and other women through that time of their lives, and I really think God probably called you and needed you in that position at that time. But this true calling of yours and working with business owners, where's that come from? Tell me kind of the birth on, the transformation that happened in you to get you to where you are today.
Yeah, it's so funny. I'm getting like full body chills as you're even asking me that question, which tells me and confirms why I'm here today to talk about this. To be honest, I was always doing that. It just happened to be that I was in the niche of helping, really more in the line of divorce divorced women who were trying to sort of figure out what's next and who the heck am I after going through such a traumatic and life-altering decision. I was in corporate for over 20 years and realized very quickly that I was unfulfilled. And at the same time that those feelings were starting to surface, I did come to realize that my now ex-husband was having an affair, and the entire foundation of my life came out from underneath me. And it was really the wake-up call that I needed for me to start speaking on my own, to use my own voice, and to really get back in touch with that inner intuitive knowing of who I was, because all I had been doing for 4 decades before was living into the version of Wendy that everybody saw. And I realized that I was taking actions, making decisions for recognition and for other people's accolades, external validation. And so what I really came to understand was that I didn't need other people to confirm what it was that I already knew within me. And I knew that within me that I was strong. I knew that I was a badass at work. I knew that I had any and all capabilities within myself to be able to create and build anything from the ground up, because that's what I had done in corporate for over 20 years. And so I realized I was an entrepreneur. And so it was really, my divorce was the opportunity for me, and really the permission that I gave myself to walk away from a 20-year career, walk away from my marriage, and really step into who it is that I was, which is somebody who is able to build something from nothing. And it had always happened through using my intuition. And so when I was doing and building my 7-figure divorce business, it was really, what I was doing was really tapping into my intuition to really help these women, not just to build lives, but to have the courage to really disrupt what they knew as the status quo, to create not just a life, but also to have the courage to create a business or to create a position within their business. Like, ultimately, what is the career that you want to have, instead of allowing your career to dictate who it is that you are? And so the pivot that I made happened after my mom passed away from ovarian cancer about 2.5 years ago. And so she really was the one, once she was on the other side, was really urging me, and, alongside God and every other spirit guide that I have, sending me signs that really what my next phase was to really help women to really disrupt their own lives, not just because of divorce, but really to have the courage to step up and to embody what it is that nudge inside of them was calling them to do. And so I made that move about a year ago, and I haven't looked back since.
Yeah. I think what you said is so important, because helping women really hone in on their intuition and listening to their inner knowing and trusting themselves is crucial, because I do believe we're coming to a crucial time in life. And that's why so many of us are being called to lead women. I mean, I felt very called to do that 6 years ago when I started on this journey. And it's important to me that they have the confidence and they're able to step up, whether they want to start a business, whether they're looking to be a leader in their community, in their church, whatever that looks like. It's about helping them have that power and the confirmation within to know that this is what I'm supposed to do without fear, but just have that knowing. And you're helping them in an area much like I've been doing for so many years, which is really in the building the business phase for women that are looking to build their businesses. So when a woman comes to work with you, what is her biggest problem, Wendy, that she's suffering with, would you say?
I mean, where to begin, right? The women that I tend to attract are high achievers, and they're women who know that they can do it all. And they feel like everything they do, every accolade, every degree is another, notch on their belt. It's another award on the wall. And it's all about thinking that they need these external validating tools or degrees or certifications in order for them to justify making any move whatsoever. She is also typically somebody who, she's a go-getter. She is somebody who knows that she's really good at something, but at the same time, she knows that it doesn't excite her anymore. It doesn't feel in integrity with who it is that she's become, right? How many times have we just stayed in, sort of the monotony of our routine because it's comfortable, it's predictable. We know what it's going to produce. Other people are relying on us. And so a lot of times what she is currently struggling with is really having the confidence to know that it's not what it is specifically that she's currently doing. It's her skill set, and it is her ability to really create something out of nothing. That is her skill. It's not like the hole that she's really kept herself in. And she's gotten to that point where she's burned out, she's overwhelmed, she is completely terrified of making a move. Anytime she takes a step forward, trying to do something new, then all of a sudden she panics and she takes two steps back and defaults into what it is that she's really good at. And I think a lot of times what we just happen to, I also think it's because of social media. It's like we're afraid of what other people are going to say. We're afraid of how other people are going to judge us. I mean, my God, I filed for divorce and left my 6-figure paycheck within a month of each other. And everybody thought I was insane. I walked away from my 7-figure divorce business. Everybody thought I was insane, right? And what I came to find is that, other people, this is kind of a bold way to say it, but this is who I am. Like, they're jealous because I had the courage to say, like, yeah, this doesn't serve me anymore. I'm not lit up. I'm not excited. And I can really do anything I want to be able to take that step forward. And so she really needs my accountability, and she needs me to help her get out of her own way, which is typically through, because she's leaning on fear and her ego so deeply, because it's gotten her where she is. And so the way that I teach her to think and to, it's really not about thinking anymore. It's really about embodying. It's about tapping into your body and the sensations that you feel. You feel fear in a different way, and it has a different vibration to it, a different frequency than something that is coming from your intuition, which is typically, it's definitely going to have like this calm, this nudge, this firmness to it. It's kind of this little whisper that you're like, wait, what did you say? Versus your fear, which is like, oh my God, warning, survival,
Fight or flight. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what we're built for. Our
Yes.
bodies are built to protect us.
Yes.
So it's fight or flight. And that's what it comes down to. And I love that you shared the difference. I think that is so crucial that we remember the difference is fight or flight, right? So that's an alarm. And then the opposite side of that is confirmation, calm, a knowing.
Yes.
And if that's one thing that someone walks away with today, that's a huge piece, because that is the difference that we're talking about today. You also mentioned your I Can voice, that you've got an I Can summit. I heard you say pretty much in everything you've decided to do, and it's happened in my life a lot. That's what happens when you're a high achiever. You are confirmed and know this is my next step. It doesn't matter what was here. I'm not chasing money. What I need to do is based on what my intuition is telling me to do, what my calling is, what my purpose is, and I'm leaning into it because I'm listening. And this is where my next step needs to be, and it feels right. And then we just figure out the how. The how comes later, but you go with the path that feels the best. And I think the she that you're working with is the one that knows what she's doing is not what she's supposed to be doing for the rest of her life.
Correct.
And she's like, this is not working for me.
No.
Or some version of that is not working for her. Would you say?
Correct. Yeah, 100%. I mean, she just wants to feel peace, and she wants ease in her life, and she wants, she wants what we all call balance. I don't think there is such a thing as work-life
Yeah.
balance at all, because to me, I see it like a seesaw, right? It's like, you know how to get back to balance, but you know that you're also going to tip one way or the other every single day, maybe, right? And it's really about knowing what balance feels like and getting yourself back there once you recognize that you're off.
Mm-hmm.
And, the whole I can message that I really preach is the I can is your intuition. It is giving yourself the permission. I do also speak about how my experience with my intuition, I call it God speaking through me.
Mm-hmm.
It is my higher power telling me, urging me, nudging me into the divine path that I am here to see through.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of us have really disconnected from not only that connection, but that trust, and really leaning in and surrendering to that. And so what she is really wanting is that deeper connection. I don't care what you call connection to universe, God, spirit, cupcake, whatever it is that you want to call that higher entity, right? Whatever
Yeah.
your faith is, I would just invite you to just try it differently. Like, start with like little teeny tiny baby steps, right? Maybe it's about deciding what you're making for dinner. Maybe you're like, oh, I know the kids really want burgers, but man, I really could go for some barbecue chicken. Go for the barbecue chicken. Like, make the barbecue chicken for once, right? Start with like something little versus like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I'm going to burn my business down today, right? Like
Yeah.
that took like 6 or 7 signs of me finally stepping in, right? I'm not sitting here being perfect, but it is a practice, and it's a practice that is individual to you.
Yeah.
And I think we obsess with the how because we want the control. We want to know what the outcome is going to be. We want to know how much time it's going to take. And guys, I hate to break it to you, but it's not up to you. It is not in, what you have control over. You have control over how you show up. You have control over your thoughts. You have control over your beliefs, your
Mm-hmm.
decisions, but you do not have control over anything outside of that. So maybe for once, stop spinning your wheels trying to get everybody else or trying to organize your dominoes in the way that you want, when 99% of the time it's never going to look the way that you
Mm-hmm.
think. And I'll
Yeah.
tell you, it's exciting. Instead of being scared by that, be excited by it, because however it is going to turn out, however it is going to look, is actually going to be way better, way more
Mm-hmm.
exciting, have way more opportunities attached to it than the way that you're manipulating and trying to piece everything together. The more you try to control, the farther away your dreams are going to stay. Declare it, name it, call it out. Got to
Mm-hmm.
ask for what you want. If you don't ask for what you want, you're not going to get it. So if you keep asking for, I have no money in the bank, I'm stuck in a job that I hate. Okay, well, you're just going to keep being stuck. You're going to keep having no money in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if you change your thoughts, right? Things will start shifting for you. People will start coming into your life. Lead with curiosity. Lead with the opportunity that things can change and be what it is that you want.
I'm glad that you said that, because we're manifesting 24 hours a day, whether you think you are or not. So why not use it for the positive? Because any thoughts you have are manifesting, whether
Yep,
they're negative or positive. So you're
exactly.
either manifesting negative all day long, or you're manifesting positive all day long based on your thoughts. And I'm glad you brought up faith, because I'm thinking about even starting a new podcast just on that subject of faith and belief. Faith and belief to me are the two biggest factors in success in any business. If you don't believe in yourself, you've already failed. There's no way you're going to achieve it. And if you don't have faith in the outcome, or faith in your higher power, which for me is also God, you don't have to have this like tangible to know. Like I say, when we create goals for ourselves, we don't always have to know the how. We just have the faith that
Right.
it's going to happen, and we know that we're going to get the how along the way, and we have 1,000% belief because of what we've proven to ourselves, maybe even in the past. I can do this. And that belief will drive you to where you need to be. But,
Yeah.
they always say you want to make God laugh, show him your plans. I think that's the funniest little quote because you said it perfectly. Those are the only things we have control over. So if those are the only things we have control over, then we must give faith into a higher power. And I mean, I've read so many books on this. I've written them in my own books. It is so crucial that we move into the ease. If you want to like do the hustle and push and pull your entire life, then do it. But that's not my life. People say, how do you have so many kids, grandkids, businesses, and like,
Right.
how many hours do you work a week? And I'm like, maybe 30. And they're like, really? Yeah, I take Fridays off most of the time. And they're like, how do you do that? I'm like, because I lean into faith in a higher power and I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. That's where the ease comes in. And then I also know there's things I'm good at and things I'm not. And I also hire good teams to take care of the things that I'm not that great at that I could
Right.
do if I needed to. But you hear Wendy, women constantly say, oh, I'm so busy. I couldn't possibly do another thing. And it's like, what are you busy doing? Because
Yeah.
it's not giving you the life you want to lead. So, what are you really busy doing? And maybe this is a wake up call for someone that's literally leading a life that they're not happy with. And I just have to tell you, you're not a victim here because your outside world is a reflective of your inside world. So,
Yeah.
what is it that you want to change? And what actions are you willing to take to change those? And I think that's where your I Can Summit comes in. So, did you want to tell us a little bit about that, of how you help people amplify their abundance through that?
Yeah, I mean, the whole movement is really about inviting other women to step into their leadership of wanting the world to see and hear them. I mean, that's all I've ever wanted. That's all I ever wanted when I was
Mm.
younger. And I think when we're kids, it's so easy for us to just be, it's like you know, imagine just going back and being a kid and not giving a shit about what other people say or think. You're just going to go do your thing. And that was so much of who I was. And that's really what I'm intending to bring back, because what I have seen, not just from my own life and experience, but also with the hundreds and thousands of women that I've had the privilege of watching go through their own movements, is really being able to create the abundant life that they so richly desire. And I remember always being that person, especially when I was married. I was like, when is he going to see that I need a break? When is he going to know? Why do I always have to say something, right? And I
Mhm.
used to be in this like self-righteousness for I don't even know what. But so many times we wait for somebody else to see. And
Yeah.
what I've come to realize is that we're all living our own life. Like, I'm not out there worrying about anybody else. And so it really took me being able to find what that voice was in order for me to really be able to create, amplify, and have that abundant life and business and love and friendships and the list goes on and on and on of what you can create abundance in. But it's going to only happen if you yourself step into your power, right? Instead of giving it away,
Yeah.
by stepping into your power of your voice and your identity and start leaning in and trusting that you are enough, right? Like we were talking about before with the
Yeah.
sign behind you, right? It's like you are enough. You have everything that it is that you need to be able to create the abundant life that you want. It just takes you saying, I can. That's
Yeah.
it. I can do this. You can do anything anytime you want. It just takes one decision. It takes one step.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm inviting people to do. And there's so many different areas of your life that you can start doing this today. Just pick one and commit to it. Do
I
it. See what
love that.
happens.
That's beautiful. Yeah, we're challenging all of you today to give yourself permission to do something that you've been wanting to do maybe for a long time that scared you a little, just get out there and do it. We want to hear from you too. So
Please.
info@colleenbiggs.net. Please feel free to email me. All right. So Wendy Sterling, I love you so much.
Oh,
You
I love you
are all
too.
over social media. Where should someone connect with you? Do you want them to follow you on a specific channel? Should they go to your website? What is the best way for them to connect with you?
Yes to it all. I would say all social media. I mean, Instagram and Facebook are probably my two most active, and then LinkedIn. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram. My handle is at Wendy Paige, Paige Sterling. LinkedIn, it's Wendy Sterling. I also have my podcast. If you guys want to binge and listen to some more of my episodes, feel free to check that out. YouTube, Apple, any platform. It's called The Power in the Pause. And then you're welcome to also check out my website. There's also a link on there to my podcast episodes, and that's wendypagesterling.com.
Love it. So you have a free gift for everyone today. Do you want to explain what that is? Because I love giving free
Yeah.
gifts to the listeners.
I love giving free gifts too. It makes my heart so happy. So I want to gift your audience today with an intuitive bundle. What you guys are going to get is one of my favorite guided meditations that I lead my clients through to tap into their intuitive voice. And then coupled with that is a guide to support the meditation and give you guys 5 ways that you can unlock your intuition today. So whether you're an audio learner, a visual learner, or a little bit of both, they're both going to support you in taking a giant step forward. So
That's
my
really
gift to
great.
you. Yeah.
Yes, I think some people out there aren't sure. We talked a lot about intuition today, but they're not sure how do I tap into my intuition? What does that look like? How do I do that? How do I get quiet and listen, right? Maybe
Yeah.
they've struggled with that in the past. So this will be a good guide for them to be able to do that. And you can get that gift at the link that we have below, and make sure you're following Wendy out there on IG or Facebook. And I love that you spell Paige exactly the way that my daughter's name is spelled, Paige, Paige.
I love it. Well, there's a story behind my middle name. It's actually not my legal middle name. It was supposed to be. There's like a whole story. We could talk offline, but yeah, it's an interesting story, but it's actually a nod and honor to my mom.
Oh, I love that. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. Well, I have a daughter who's named Paige, and it's spelled exactly the same way. So
Yeah. It's a
I love
beautiful
it.
name.
I love it so much, and it
Me
is a
too.
beautiful name. And I also have 2 granddaughters that have my middle name, Jane,
Oh,
Ivy Jane and Scotty Jane. So it's
I
nice to
love
have
it.
those 2 little girls in the family that have my middle name as well. And I
I
love that
love
so
it.
much. I think it's so important. The family unit and faith are really the things that I think are so crucial. And I'm really been focusing on them a lot lately because
Yeah.
the world is changing. So we need to be
Yes, it
paying
is.
attention. And I want to remind all of our listeners, excuse me, as we close today, that you're the only you that's ever been. You're the only you that's ever going to be. And I think Wendy said it perfectly about giving yourself permission and hearing yourself speak to you in a calm voice that says, this is what you need to be doing, and confirming that to you, and that kind of nervousness that you get in the action that you need to take, and getting to the point where you feel that I can. That's where Wendy comes in, right? She's the mentor. She's the guide in that, to moving you through. Okay, I hear it, but that doesn't mean I want to make a move because I'm still a little nervous. I haven't quite gotten to the I can. That's where Wendy comes in the middle. So that helps to kind of sum it all up today for all of you, of why and how and when you should be working with her. And I just want to thank you, Wendy, for coming to us out of Sherman Oaks, California, and joining us today and bringing all your goodness and stories. And we appreciate you so much. And to all my listeners, thank you again for listening to Take the Leap and being a loyal listener. And until next time, don't forget, be you and be strong. Bye-bye for now.
We hope you enjoyed our show today, as our guests shared their secrets on designing their life by taking the necessary leaps to expand their influence and attract the right people and clients into their lives. To start these easy steps for yourself, be sure to visit www.colleenbiggs.net/freebies to download the 7 ways to increase your exposure today.